Can't wait for the finale of Velma to be a 25-minute sex scene between Shaggus and Scoobis.
Honestly, I'll be real with you. That would make me want to watch the whole show.
I would too. If they were like, they're like, I got an idea. We're going to have the guy fuck the dog. And they go, right. Write that down.
Yeah. I have a feeling that the show is going to end with Scooby being introduced. Like, the final episode will show him.
I'm still pretty torn up about the fact that his full name is Scoobert.
Yeah. It's a bit whack. Kind of like how Shaggy's Norville, though.
Yeah, no, that's a fucking goofy-ass name.
Yeah.
I would change my name to something a lot cooler if my name was Norville, too, so...
Yeah.
You know. Hello and welcome to the 131st installment, goddamn, of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, astounded by how long we've been doing this, and our other host, Jordan.
That's me, baby.
That's him. Jordan.
Yeah.
This is a show that we put on many platforms. What are those platforms?
So, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed, all linked below. We also have Instagram and TikTok where you can contact us, and email synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. And also Spotify and YouTube. Spotify has a video portion as well, so you can check us out both there. And there's a YouTube comment section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently, thinking about our email, because it's a Proton Mail email address. Just because, I think I did that just because the name availability is way fucking better because less people use Proton Mail.
Yeah.
I heard Proton Mail referred to the other day as an email service for the dark web. Shut the fuck up. It's an encrypted email service.
Yeah.
It's an encrypted email service. It has nothing to do with the dark web.
Yet.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little wild.
Well, it's more...
It'll take, honestly.
It's more anonymous than other email things because they're based in, I forget where, but they have some law that they don't have to forfeit information to the authorities.
Oh, they're in Protonia.
Yeah, they're on fucking Planet Proton, bro.
Proton
it's right next
P-minus.
It's right next to Planet Fitness, which is in the same system as Workout World.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
That was a pretty good one. He's a bit of a funny guy.
What did we talk about last episode?
We talked about how much your life sucks, how much all your shit's breaking, and possibly our mitts.
Yeah, so
and then we got a little introspective.
Yeah, so I want to get a bit extrospective. I don't think that's a word, but I want to lash out a little bit here.
Start swinging.
Yeah. Okay. People, I sincerely believe that some people wake up and think, oh man, I need to be an inconvenience to everyone around me today.
Yeah. Because
this is what happened to me, right? I attend a school. And at that school, people park in a garage.
And there's been plenty of issues with this garage before.
Oh, of course.
That we've heard about.
And this garage is not very wide to get through. Still somehow managed to park my Suburban in that garage a couple of times.
Yeah, very interesting.
Which, still amazed that I was able to do that. Anyway, that's beside the point. I was on my way out the other day, and it's the path to get out is so narrow that it's only single file on your way out. You can't go around anyone, which is fine most of the time, right? And so you're kind of at the liberty or like at the mercy of whoever's in front of you.
Yeah, they gotta go.
Yeah. So this dude in front of me, we're headed down. And he sees his friends in the garage, and he just stops with me behind him. He just stopped to talk to his friends. And I started getting a lot closer to him. I got really close, and then I yelled something. I didn't have my window down, so I doubt you heard me. I went, let's go. I got places to fucking be. And then he moved. He got the message. He was about 0.2 microseconds from me fucking laying onto the horn.
Yeah.
Because I have no fucking patience for people who are consistently just an inconvenience.
Right.
Right? I would say I'm fairly selfish. I think about my needs above other people's most of the time.
Right.
Especially like strangers.
Oh, for sure.
But I also understand that it's not just me on the planet. Like there's other people around me that have things they need to do.
Yeah.
So, I don't do things like that. So that's fun. And then on my way out on that same excursion, someone backed up out of their space at like the fucking speed of sound right in front of me. So
They broke the fucking sound barrier.
yeah, so that was cool. Parking in general just sucks.
Yeah, and honestly too, that's the same place where when you exit, it's like a slight uphill, right?
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that's much fun in the Fiesta too, when you have to kind of do the dance or fucking rely on your clutch to hold you. Like that must suck.
Yeah, so I have it kind of down now. So but I always have my hand on my fucking parking brake just in case.
Yeah, in case you lose it.
If I feel myself rolling back and my car isn't reacting to me, like I forget to put it in gear or whatever, I can just yank that and I'll stop.
Yeah.
So
It's a get out of jail free card.
yeah, it's or rather a don't have my insurance go up again card.
First rolls back and you hear dink and he just goes, you know what, fuck this. Puts it in first, flies, hits a ramp, fucking blows up into a building.
I hear dink and I just fucking blow up. I sit down and I detonate in my car.
Beep, 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 beep.
The car doesn't blow up. I blow up. I turn into a fucking vapor cloud.
Guy gets out, he said, what the fuck, man? Where the fuck's the driver?
They would have to mop me off the street.
Opens the door and there's just shoes sitting there. He's like, huh?
There's just shoes on the floor. No clothes, just shoes with socks still in them. No feet in the socks, just socks.
They're definitely crusty ass socks. They're just sitting there.
Oh,
Standing up stiff as a board, brother.
But I think people a lot of times just want to be an inconvenience. Another thing, I don't think I've said this sentiment exactly on this show. I've said it many times in my interpersonal relations and in just in life, but I don't think I've said it on the show. I need people to walk like they have an intended destination. Because I always do have an intended destination. Like even if I'm not sure, if I'm in a store and I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be going,
You have an idea as to where you're headed.
there's signs everywhere. So I'll walk at my normal speed and I'll just read the signs. And I go, oh, that sounds like what I want. Let me go to that aisle.
Hang on, Chris. I don't follow. So wait a minute. You don't have to stop, stand still, bust out the reading glasses, get the binoculars, get the telescope to see the sign that says home improvement.
I have to stop. I have to stop, look at the sign. First, I have to parse that it's a sign that can be read. Then I have to look at the sign, at the words on the sign, and go for like 15, 20 minutes until I can understand what I've seen. And then realize it's not the right aisle and then move on to the next one.
So what I usually do is I pull out my phone, I go to Google Lens, I click on it, I highlight the word, I translate that to Spanish, then I translate that to German, then to French, then back to Spanish, and then to English, and then usually I somewhat kind of know what I'm reading.
And then I have Google read it back to me.
What the hell is she saying? Home improvement, I got it.
Oh, it's in Simlish.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even when I was in Home Depot the other day and I didn't know where the fuck...
I don't know where shit is in Home
I didn't know
Depot.
where I was going. I was just looking for gloves. Because I think when I went, Harbor Freight was closed. I was going in the other direction. Because if I was going to go to Harbor Freight, I would have to go the complete opposite direction I was going. So I went to Home Depot. I needed a set of gloves. That's all I needed. Just like leather gloves. And I wasn't sure where they were. So what I did is I walked past the aisles and I started reading. And nothing said gloves, but I was like, this is like an other aisle, right? I sense gloves will be here, and I walked into the aisle.
May the glove be with you.
Sure enough, gloves. Sure enough, gloves.
Who would have thunk?
So you just don't be in my way.
Yeah.
Just don't be in anyone's way. It's not terribly difficult.
Yeah.
And also, if you're going to walk, you need to walk at a pace that makes sense.
Here's something for me, Chris, that this this might come across the wrong way, but like if you have a kid, like a young kid, and it's just learning to walk,
Don't take it in public.
I understand that you might want to like let the kid walk and do its thing. But, like, do that in the back aisles where no one is. If you're walking in the main fucking aisle, you pick that little shit up and put him on your shoulder and you walk. You get going, bro. I'm going to just start pushing children over here.
Yeah, if you're walking at, like, fucking 0.2 miles per year because your kid is trying to waddle around next to you, I'm picking your kid up and I'm going to punt it over the fucking aisle.
Could you imagine?
I'm kicking it into the fucking drop ceiling.
Could you imagine, Chris? You're just walking with your kid holding it, and all of a sudden some man just grabs it and yeets it over the aisle.
Grabs the baby by the head and throws it into the ceiling.
You're just like, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ! Why would you do that? I shouldn't have fucking been in my way. I don't know what to tell you.
Then you find out it wasn't even a kid, it was like a midget. You're like, oh no,
it was like their dog.
But they put clothes on it.
They put clothes on it and it was walking upright.
It was Scoobis-Doobis.
It was Scoobis-Doobis. Even though Scoobis is a fucking Great Dane and would be like the size of a horse.
Yeah, he's fucking massive. But yeah, if you have like a kid, like, I get wanting to just have the kid walk on their own, but like, do that shit in like the toy aisle. Don't walk down the grocery aisle with this little fucking 1.5 foot shit. Just like
when there's adults doing adult business,
kids should not be involved.
When I say it like that, it makes it sound like I'm talking about sex. When there's adults conducting normal like activities you would have to do as an adult. Shopping, buying food.
Yeah.
Get your fucking kid out of the way.
Yeah, put that little shit in the carriage. I don't care if they're screaming, just...
If it's an aisle in which kid activities are meant to be had, toys, I might even let video games slide.
I might let it slide, yeah.
Sure. Let them go nuts.
Yeah.
Not in the food aisle.
No.
I don't even want to be in the store to begin with. I just want to get what I need and leave.
Yeah. Like, with the people who are, like, they have this little kid, right? And they're, like, in the fucking frozen goods aisle, and they park their cart, and they go, oh, Timmy, grab the broccoli. And the kid fucking waddles over to the door, can't figure out how to open it, finally opens it, grabs the broccoli, baby. Drops the broccoli, picks it back up, waddles to the carriage, drops it again, picks it up, and hands it to the mom, and I'm just like...
Stupid-ass baby, I can figure that out in 2 seconds.
It takes 2 seconds to figure that out?
Yeah, doors are kind of complicated for me sometimes.
Like, oh man, hang on.
Oh man, I don't know how to. Oh, I got it.
Unless you have Boss Baby, I don't want to see you doing no business with this baby.
Unless you have Alec Baldwin himself, voice actor for the Boss Baby. In case there's a little Boss Baby trivia, in case anyone knows, he shot a guy. Remember that?
Yeah.
Anyway.
He got charged for it too recently.
He did. That's a shitty situation, but that's old news, so we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Unless you have Alec Baldwin himself dressed up as the Boss Baby doing the character, I don't want to see your fucking baby walking around the aisle.
Only baby I'll accept, bro, is Boss Baby. Only fucking baby.
Any kid running amok in a store I'm gonna start punching him.
Yeah. Yeah. What's funny too is like, sometimes people just do that. Like, I've never seen someone who, like, just stares at a shelf for so long. I'm like, what are you looking at? There's 4 items on that shelf.
And it's even worse when it's someone who's, like, not 95.
Yeah, no, if it's Granny, like, I'll still run her down, but I get it.
If it's Granny, it's like, okay, yeah, I understand it hurts for you to exist, but, like, it doesn't hurt for me to exist, so, like, I need you to get out of my way. If you're, like, 30 and you act like that, get off this earth. Like, I don't have time for you. That's why I go to the store at night as well. Like, I'll go because
there's less people.
Go to any store past like 7 or 8 p.m. and there will be so many less people, and especially a lot less kids, because people don't want to bring their kids out. If I go to a store at like fucking the middle of the day, like it is now, it's like 1 o'clock. If I went to a store now, I would be furious.
On a Saturday as well, yeah.
I would be furious.
Yeah.
I can't, and I also can't stand walking behind people who are slow, because like I just can't. My pace of walking can't adjust properly.
Yeah.
Or even worse,
Your stride is too big.
Or even worse, when it's someone who is walking fast, but not as fast as you. But to get around them, you have to like jog basically to get around them, and you just look fucking weird.
Douche. Yeah,
you just look weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think honestly, it should be completely fair game in a store. Like every cart should have a bumper guard in the front, and you should just be totally authorized to fucking just send it into people.
I would build a custom car to put like big fucking bull bars on the
Spiked
front.
tires on the sides, like taking out fucking Achilles.
I'd put like the big bull bars like they have on like cop cars, and just fucking.
Dude, little Timmy goes to grab the broccoli and just...
Fucking 85-year-old Ethel is in my way. I fucking crush all her bones.
You fucking turn into dust. You hit her, she turns into a blob and hits
Because
the
once
ground.
you get to a certain age, like, a bad sneeze will kill you. Never mind being fucking rammed with a shopping cart.
By a big man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing, too. I gotta watch myself, because if someone cuts in front of me, there is like a 95% chance they're going to be significantly smaller than I am.
Yeah.
And if I run into someone, they're going to die.
And imagine me whipping it around the corner like la 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 la, and Chris just fucking nails me.
That almost happened at work. I passed a room. I was headed to like where you sit. I passed like that break room that's there.
Yeah.
Someone was on their way out, a smaller woman, and I stopped dead short because if I took another step, I was going to run right into her. Yeah. And I would have been like, yeah, she would have died.
There's one other guy in that office, deep voice and like a goatee, who's like as big as you, if not like slightly bigger. And he turns corners sometimes and you're like...
You have to be real careful when you're big, you have to be real careful. I don't care if it's big, tall, big, muscular, big, fat, or a combination of all of them. You need to like...
If you're a fucking anomaly.
Yeah, if you're somehow tall, short, muscular, and fat all at the same time, go to a doctor.
Bro, that Venn diagram be like, what the fuck?
But you need to like pay attention and like be able to stop very quickly.
Yeah.
Because that's one other thing that I noticed, because I don't want to walk into people, because I know I'm gonna sincerely injure someone if I do.
Yeah. Even like me, I have to stop short at that same turn. Sometimes I usually go wide for that reason, because like most of the people in the office, aside from that one guy and like yourself and like a couple of the other guys, if I go as fast as I walk, like, you know how like a bullet is all about velocity, right? That's like me.
It's a little guy.
I don't weigh much, but I'm like all around the fucking corridor.
But you're also dense.
Yeah, so like, dude, if I just full-fledged just walk pin straight, chest first into someone, I'm taking them down. Like, yeah. I'm taking them down, and a lot of the people in that office are like smaller women and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm gonna just level someone. I'm gonna feel so bad.
Controversial statement. I'm not usually about violence against women or anyone really. Maybe usually. I shouldn't have phrased it as usually, but you know, you get the picture.
Yeah, I get the idea. Unaccounted for, but just you gotta be careful. And yeah, to summarize, if you have a little shit with you, you fuck it. You keep that shit on a leash, bro. Put that shit on your shoulder.
Oh my god! Like, I wonder what the leash kids are up to now. You ever been
They're probably the ones who stand there looking at the aisle for 40 minutes.
You ever been out in public? You see a kid on a leash.
Yeah.
And like, I wonder what the fuck that kid's problem is. I actually almost was a leash kid.
Really?
Yeah, no, like my parents bought one. My mother had bought one, and she used it once. It was like, this is fucking horrible. I'm never doing that again, and she put it away. And I was almost a leash kid, and I can't imagine the fucking havoc I would be wreaking if I was a leash kid. Yeah. I would still, you know the menace I was when I was like 15? Mm-hmm. I would be like that still.
Yeah.
Because I was a horrible, horrible person.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Leash kids are just like...
They're all in prison.
There's a better alternative, like...
Yeah, no, just keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
I think it's for underprepared parents. Because you see people who are like, oh yeah, they are prepared to be a parent.
Yeah.
And then you see people who are very much not.
Yeah.
And it always shows. Like, you know, my dad, like I was his fourth child. So I
Bro was ready.
Yeah, he was
he
ready.
Popped out and he was on the phone. He was like, "Yeah, what's up, bro?"
He's got the experience. So like, I was never trouble.
Yeah.
Never more trouble than any kid is normally.
You just like slid out like a fucking slip and slide. He just picked you up. He's like, "Yeah, this one's all right," and just threw you in like a crib.
He picked me up by the fucking scruff of the neck like a cat. He's like, "Oh yeah."
Chris is sitting there going, "Ah."
Fine looking baby right there, and just fucking threw me.
You know the fucking Lubbin from The Witcher 3?
The Lubberkin.
You looked like that thing crawling around.
Little fat little baby crawling around.
Big ass eyes off to the sides, just like looking like fucking Sid the Sloth, dude, crawling around.
Yeah. So, don't take your kids in public ever.
Or just learn to be a parent.
Because I'll kill them. Maybe unintentionally, but they might die.
Maybe unintentionally?
Maybe. Like, if a kid is short enough, they get under my boot, who knows what's going to happen.
Chris steps, hears a crunch, he's like, ugh, what is that?
What the hell is that? Oh,
and he just sees an iPod or an iPhone, you're like, oh, no.
Oh, no. Sorry. My bad.
My bad, you want them? Scrapes them off, throws them to him.
You want them back?
You put your foot in the side of the carriage and drag it, it's scraping them off like it's a dog shit.
That's horrifying. Dude, that's fucking horrifying.
That is pretty horrifying. But Chris, speaking of horrifying things, you know what I've been doing?
What's that?
So, Dead Space.
Yeah.
The remake came out yesterday.
It did, didn't it?
It's phenomenal, for one.
I was going to ask, is it any good? But you answered my question.
Yeah, it's an incredible remake, but surprisingly, it just works really well on the Steam Deck.
It just works.
There's one thing that's a little jarring that I appreciate Reddit for it. I have to do some research. I got to figure out...
This guy's a bit of a Redditor.
What it really means for something to have preloaded shader caches. I got to figure that out. I got to look into that a little bit because
it means that the cache of shaders has been preloaded.
So I got to figure out how that works, though. Because
no, I don't fucking know either.
Some games don't have it, some games do, and Dead Space specifically does, and that's why it works so well on the Steam Deck. So apparently something about the Steam Deck hardware, it's not good at, like, I guess, making these shaders. It works better when they're preloaded.
Yeah, I think the idea is they understand how things like shadows are going to be cast. They take that information, put it in, like, some kind of map, and give it, put it in a cache so that it can be displayed when it's ready, so it doesn't have to be made
on the fly.
Yeah, you know how like ray tracing works?
Yeah.
Like how they're actively tracing the rays of light.
And that's what makes it so hard.
And that's what makes it hard to run. But if you only have to render shadows when they're changing, it makes a lot more sense to do it that way. That's my thought. That's my interpretation. I may be wrong. It's been known to happen. It's something that's happened to me before. I've been wrong.
Right. It has happened.
No, wrong, actually.
Wrong, yeah. But what's funny, this is why I appreciate Reddit, because I don't understand that, and people said, like, hey, it works fine on the Steam Deck, and I'm playing it. I'm like, it does not work fine. So I go to the subreddit for the Steam Deck, and I'm like, I'm just looking what people are saying. And one guy was like, no, like, it does work fine. There's one issue with if you open up the map, the game crashes. Luckily, Dead Space has one of my favorite navigation implementations where you click in the right thumbstick. I always liked this because I did start the original years ago. I just never beat it. You click in the right thumbstick or on PC, you hit like I or some shit, and Isaac will put his hand out like this, and a beam will come from his hand and then tell you what direction to go.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I really like that. So you don't even need the map at all, truth be told. But anyway, there's that crash, which I'm sure they'll fix very quickly. And then the game literally was running at like 18 frames per second and freezing every few seconds. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And they said, what you have to do is you have to just power through that first like 10-minute section of it literally running like this. Like literally like that. Yeah. And then freezing for like a fucking minute and then coming back. And then it will load all the shaders and then it will be perfectly fine. And that's exactly how it is.
Nice.
It runs pretty good on there. It's like a pretty well locked 30 frames per second. Between the map crashing, which doesn't actually affect it at all. The only time it does affect is you have to remember if you go to your inventory, when you hit RB, the next one over is map. So you have to go the opposite direction to get to the other shit.
I'm assuming they're going to fix that.
That'll fix quick, because I think that's even on PC, not just Steam Deck.
It's not a Steam... Okay, and, that's fair.
Besides that, the only other issue is like sometimes when you go to a new area, it'll go... And then it's fine.
Because it's got to load everything.
And it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But it works pretty good. He wasn't there. Just so you know. That conversation we had off mic.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. But it runs pretty good on there. So, and if you're going to... you're probably going to play it on PC if you get it. If you end up getting it. It's fucking very good.
Yeah, I might get it.
very good. Very good game.
You know, thinking of speaking of things that crash, inexplicable crashes.
Enough talking about Priuses, dude.
So that joke is funny because
You see, that joke is humorous
and that joke is funny because it's a callback
to the last episode.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, go click on it now, or I will come for you. And
he'll come on you. All right,
I have numerous STDs.
So things that crash. There is apparently for iPhone users. There's a glitched TikTok that has a frame in it that can't be rendered properly by the app or the phone or whatever, and it will crash your TikTok.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Isn't it like it's like a white background with something in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a
and there's like
bagel or something.
there's like a pixel on that can't be rendered properly by the phone, and it will crash the app.
That's so funny.
So that's a bit of an iPhone glitch.
I should send that to the group chat.
Don't know if it's been fixed yet, but as of a couple days ago, it was not.
Yeah, that's funny. I forgot about that. I thought that affected everything.
But because of the way the video works, you have to send like a link, because if you download it and then send it, it gets compressed and re-encoded.
Right.
So and then
they're just playing that. Yeah. They're not rendering it.
So you have to send like a link. But again, I don't know if it's been patched yet, but I did hear about that.
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
That's pretty interesting.
It's weird how it's little things like that you can't really account for.
Yeah, because there was the thing like a few years ago that was the like string of text or whatever that you could put, and it would crash the fucking phone.
There was an emoji too. It was like a frog emoji or something you could send.
That would crash the phone. Yeah. So it's little shit like that you can't. It's fucking impossible to account for when you design operating systems. But still, it's interesting nonetheless.
Yeah. On the same topic of crashes, you want to know something, Chris?
Yeah.
I've said this sentiment, and I'm just gonna back it up again. Right? I'm gonna say it again.
He's gonna back it up.
Back it up, boy. Steam Deck verified games are the least verified games on the platform.
How does the verification process work?
What
do they do?
It's supposed to be a group of employees at Valve that specifically play games. They look for, can I launch this with default settings? And it works. Okay, yes. Do all the controls map properly? Yes. Does it show the right icon for the controls? Yes. Is text visible and easy to read? Are menus able to navigate? Like basically the main functions of the game.
Yeah.
Are they manageable with no issues? Does it work on default graphics settings well, etc.? Dude, The Witcher 3 crashes more than any other fucking game I've played. And it don't get me wrong, it's still not horrible, but it crashes enough
Is that not just an effect of the next gen update or whatever?
So
I heard that was a big problem with that.
So that's the thing, the next gen update came out, they took away the verification status, marked it as unsupported because it didn't work at all, because it didn't support DirectX 11 or 12 or whatever it was. I think it was 12. So then they fixed all those issues and they re-verified the game. It's verified.
Oh.
And it still crashes. It's not like, don't get me wrong, it's not horrible. I've played 20 hours, I've probably crashed 5 times. But when I can go and play something like fucking State of Decay 2, which don't get me wrong, battery life wise, it's not optimized well. It drains the battery like a motherfucker for a game that doesn't look that great. But I've never had that game crash ever, and it's completely marked as like either playable or unsupported.
That was my experience with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That game would crash like fucking every hour and a half.
Yeah.
That game crashed so much.
Or for something like Red Dead 2, which is, arguably...
that game also crashed quite a bit.
Well, I was going to say...
More than it should.
On the Steam Deck, Red Dead 2 is arguably a much better looking game than The Witcher 3, personally, in my opinion. Like, just in terms of, like, shit going on.
It's much more detailed. There's a lot more shit happening.
Yeah, and that game never, ever crashed. That game didn't even stutter on the Steam Deck for me. So, I don't know. And that game's marked as, like, unsupported or playable.
I hope... Little Kitty Big City will be Steam Deck verified.
I really hope so, dude.
That was another callback. I'm looking forward to that game, genuinely.
Yeah.
I like games with little cats in them. I was a
What do
big
you
fan
say,
of
Chris?
Stray.
What do you say, Chris? Little Kitty Big City comes out. It's Steam Deck verified. You and I, we go to that lake I was talking about last episode. We just sit by the lake.
We get our decks out and we play Little Kitty Big City.
Yep. Little Kitty Big City on our decks by the lake.
Normal man activities.
Yep. Normal heterosexual male activities.
Normal male activity. I think personally, I don't know. Maybe it's a thing where like I'm just comfortable with my masculinity, but I never think about things like that. I understand that a lot of games that I play are like games that are more popular with women. But I'm like, oh, it's a fun game. Let's play it. But there are like these weird hyper masculine dudes that just won't. You're missing out,
dude. But that's the same
like,
people who go, you gotta play Call of Duty.
You're gonna let your masculinity make you miss out on fucking Stardew Valley. That game's fantastic. Or like Animal Crossing. That game's fun as shit.
Even people who talk about like kid games like Animal Crossing or
fucking
Minecraft. Fucking like, dude, Minecraft. That's a banger. I don't give a shit what anyone says.
Honestly, I think it might also be a generational thing. The Minecraft part. It might be like a SpongeBob situation.
Maybe.
Because I bet if we talk to like some of our older coworkers, who are not even that much older than us, but they are
oldest one's 38.
Yeah, they are millennials, whereas we are Gen Z. It might be a generation. They might not like something like Minecraft.
Yeah, let's say surprisingly doesn't like Minecraft. She finds it boring.
I think she just hasn't played it properly.
I agree.
I think her opinion is wrong. You know.
I agree. I don't know, Minecraft. Like, I don't know. It's such a good game.
It's one of those games that you don't play for like 2 years, and then you open it, put 100 hours into a save, and then never play it for, you know.
And you never go back to that save.
You never go back to that save, and you put it away for another 2 years.
Yeah, and then you go back, make a new save, start again.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I just get this itch where I'm like, man, I just really want to, like,
play a survival and craft right now.
I want to just, like, do a survival thing. And then I'll make a new world, and I'll be like, oh, this is cool looking. And then that's it. There goes 40 hours.
And it's also not, like, a ridiculous survival game either, where I feel like a lot of survival games are just stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's kind of the point.
That's how I feel about The Long Dark. Good game, but too stressful.
Yeah, like, I think it's kind of the point with a lot of survival games where it's supposed to be stressful.
What, you mean I gotta survive?
Yeah, like, this is a game about survival.
Minecraft's only survival mechanic is just food.
Yeah, and food is, like, really, really easy to get. It's no 7 Days to Die where they removed filling jars with water, you know?
No, you can still fill buckets with water. You can still fill buckets with water in Minecraft.
So, I don't know. I think, you know, I don't know. Anyway, weird tangent.
Yeah, but...
Weird tangent.
Yeah, I don't know. Little Kitty Bit City, I hope ends up being pretty good.
I'm excited for that game. I was a big Stray enjoyer. That game was fun. So I'm looking forward to, you know, more cat-type games. You play as a little cat.
Yeah.
Cats are funny little animals.
Little gato.
I like them. Yeah.
Little gato. And, like, good cats, too. Like Stray had, like, mo-capped cats. Like, that shit was awesome.
No, it was a real cat that they fucking... And they had, like, a picture of it at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, check, this is the fucking cat that we used. Yeah. And I just picture the cat with, like, all these fucking, like, motion tracking balls on it. And it's like, Jesus, what the fuck is this? Must have been a particularly tolerant cat.
Yeah.
Because I know Chunk would be furious.
Oscar fucking hates when stuff's on him, dude.
I put a little piece of tape on Chunk once that was like, it was a little strip of tape, and I just stuck it to his back, and I had to grab it really quick because he was going to go fucking ballistic.
Yeah.
Because he started sprinting. So, yeah, putting stuff on the cat must have been difficult. It must have been a very tolerant cat.
They probably used a fucking sedative to make it super sleepy.
Maybe.
Put it all the shit on, and then it woke up and was like, what the fuck? Where am I?
I guess I have all these growths now. I guess that's something.
I have become a fungal monster, dude.
Yeah, I've become a fucking mega mycete.
Yeah. Bro gets his arm chopped off. He's like, shit, puts it back, pours some juice on it. He's like, all right, I'm chilling.
I want that ability in real life.
That would be really funny.
I think
he's got like the Deadpool ability. The only difference being that he just feels pain.
Yeah.
Deadpool kind of doesn't in a way.
That's also, you know, that part kind of sucks, but
yeah.
But
the pain would go away pretty quick.
It would be a funny bit.
Honestly, yeah, if I could do what Ethan does in that game, I would just have a cleaver on the side of my chair every episode. I'd be like, Chris, and just chop your head off and then put it back, put some fucking masking tape.
Put it on backwards.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's something you could do. But this all started because of the Dead Space remake. What I was going to say about the Dead Space remake was the game itself looks very good. Oh, I fucking love Dead Space. I really do. I love that, like, over-the-shoulder, third-person survival horror. It's so good. And it's the OG. Like, it's the OG of that fucking genre. It's so fucking good, dude.
It is like, it is one of the games that is, you know, coined as the survival, horror game.
Yeah. You ever play The Evil Within? That's another fantastic survival horror game.
I haven't played it. I've seen a little bit. I saw a little bit of gameplay when it came out, but I never played it.
I fucking love that game, and the second one was really good. I hope they make a third one. The people who made it just made a new game for Game Pass, actually. So maybe eventually they'll get their way over there. But that game was so good.
When the game came out, I wasn't as big into horror as I am now. Where I'm really big into big into horror. Where I watch like a lot of like YouTube horror series, things like that. I've like made my own horror projects, and I'm working on something else that I want to, incorporate and upload. That's a whole other project that's like
down the pipeline somewhere.
That will see the light of day eventually because it's a lot bigger than what I would normally do, and I want it to stay that way. I want it to stay like a big thing.
Yeah, you don't want to have to pull back the
And
reins.
I want to learn all the relevant skills before I do it so I can do it properly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. But you should definitely give it a try. I got Dead Space 2 for free with it for pre-ordering.
I might give it a shot.
Yeah, I would give her a little try. But that game's good. And then, as we talked about a couple episodes back, we have a couple things coming out in February. People are really gearing up for Hogwarts Legacy. So
people are excited for that Harry Potter one.
Yeah, people are excited for that. It seems like there's like these cursed spells you can do that like mess with your sanity. I don't know anything about Harry Potter, but
there's cursed spells that crash the game.
It's a fucking memory leak every time you do it.
Like, why the fuck is the Harry Potter game using 54 gigabytes of RAM? Well, we built this memory leak into the game specifically as a mechanic.
Yeah, you have 5 minutes to live. It's RAM dependent. You use the spell and you're on a timer, and the timer depends on how much RAM you have. So you just have some dude who's just like soldering on new fucking slots, like put them all in.
And then you got the one guy with like a fucking workstation computer who's got like a terabyte of RAM. So that the timer is like 15 hours.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I guess I got time.
Actually, speaking of workstations, did you see the new M2 Mac Mini?
I did. I also saw the old Mark-ass Brownlee video about it. I didn't see the actual videos. I'm assuming there's an actual video, but I saw a TikTok that he did about it. About how it was outperforming the base model Mac Pro.
Yeah.
How the fuck? Okay. They've made a new Pro machine already. Like, they haven't done a Mac Pro that's Apple Silicon, but they have the Mac Studio, which is basically that.
Yeah,
And I think the top-end model, or the entry price for the top-end model is $4,000, which is a lot of fucking money. But that $4,000 fucking mollywops the base model Mac Pro that's also like $4,000.
Yeah.
And also in that same video that was done, he showed that if you trade in the top model Mac Pro that's like $50,000 at an Apple store, they give you $970 in in-store credit for it.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I would be furious. I would be so fucking mad.
What the fuck?
Like, I figured, like, how bad could it possibly be? What do they give you, like, $8,000? $9,000? No, they give you $900.
They give you literally.
They don't even.
You can't even buy a new iPhone with that.
They don't even give you enough money to buy the fucking Mac Mini that's better than the machine you're trading in.
Yeah, you literally can't. You can't even walk out with their highest end phone.
That's crazy, man.
That's nuts.
That's fucking crazy.
That is fucking wild. But yeah, I saw that it was just crushing benchmarks, and I don't know, man. I heard a lot of mixed things about the M1 where it was like, yeah, the benchmarks are great, but like it still throttles hard, but like, I don't know, man.
From my experience,
yours is M1, right? Is that what that was? Yeah.
It's M1, 8 gigs of RAM, and that's the biggest limiter, is the 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
Because doing anything in After Effects is impossible with 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
Like, on my computer, like my desktop, I had After Effects on like a very basic project. Before I turned down the resolution, was using like 58 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
So it's because it caches so much shit into RAM that but I bumped it down now. I have it using like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's the biggest limiter is the RAM. But like in terms of performance, it was at school we have the Mac Pros, the trash can Mac Pros, and I was able to seek through video and like, mess with video so much easier and smoother on the M1 than I could on the
Pros.
the Pro.
Yeah, no, it made sense. Yeah.
So
And that's at your school. So the trash can style one. I like that look though.
it
kind of reminds me
a
of like a
neat
Series
looking
X,
machine.
but circular.
It is a neat looking machine, but aesthetics aside, and it's so fucking strangely built.
Yeah.
Because you take the top off and it's in like modules.
Yeah.
And they're all like hooked together. It's fucking strange how it's manufactured.
It is fucking weird. Yeah. That's kind of how the Xbox Series X is. Like it's just like a bunch of boards like lined up and like fucking cables and stuff.
Because in theory, that sort of design makes a lot of sense.
For airflow,
To have a turbine that sucks cold air from the bottom, moves it through your components and out the top where it was gonna go eventually because heat rises.
It's a little bit less dense. It's less dense, brother.
Yeah, something like that.
The molecules are like bada bing, bada boom, so they go higher.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense, but it's just not practical. I think it's not practical for a lot of applications, especially if you want to get a small form factor. Everything has to be closer together, thus therefore generating more heat because everything is right next to each other.
Yeah.
Like if, say for example, as a person, I'm a heat generating component, and I spent this whole podcast hugging Jordan.
We'd be a lot hotter.
We would be a lot hotter.
And more torqued, but that's besides the point.
Fully torqued.
Fully torqued. Actually, so talking about trash can designs and Series X's and stuff, did you see the supposed design flaw with the PS5 mounted vertically?
No.
So apparently, under the lid for the CPU or the APU, technically, you have your die, and then you have a seal around it, and you have liquid metal on top or whatever for cooling.
Right.
Now, that seal apparently isn't good, and if you have the PlayStation 5 mounted vertically over time, people who have had it since day one, it appears, it gets hot enough that liquid metal leaks through the seal and then gets on components and actually
that's cool because
it.
that's how mine's set up is vertically. That's cool.
Yeah. And I haven't looked into it any further, but people were saying like that was proven to be one time with one specific circumstance or whatever.
That I could believe.
So I have to look into it more, but I was like, well, I guess it's a good thing I've never had mine fucking vertically, but apparently that's something that had happened to at least a couple people.
Nice.
And when they took it apart, you could see where it clearly went through it's a black foam gasket. It went through that, and then it went down onto like a bunch of other shit. So.
That's cool. I think it's just an effect of liquid metal. I think liquid metal is a cute gimmick, but it's not practical.
Yeah.
Used in a practical application like that, look what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
I also don't like the idea of just spreading metal on my components.
Yeah, that's a fire hazard. I guess to the power supply.
Especially metal that is, depending on what you use for your cooler, can be corrosive to that material.
Yeah.
Like some liquid metal compounds are, I think it's either aluminum or copper that it's like, it'll eat away at the copper.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's a fine gimmick, but just use a high quality thermal paste. It's going to be marginal. A matter of 5-10 degrees, something like that. And if you don't have that much wiggle room,
then you're doing something wrong.
You're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. That's the thing is like, actually, you know what a lot of people have been doing too to their Steam Decks is they've actually been thermal pasting the APU to get it down by like 5 to 6 degrees. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, but why?
Is that worth your time?
And the risk too.
That's also true. Like Alex told me, he was telling me how he somewhat recently redid the thermal paste on his processor, but he also took apart his graphics card to redo the thermal paste on that. Is that really worth my time to do that?
Yeah. I did it on my processor, but
to take apart my graphics card that cost me $900.
Yeah.
To do that, take that risk to just have it be like a little bit cooler.
Yeah. No, I haven't done it to my.
Maybe that's worth his time, and he can do that. That's fine. But it's not worth my time.
Yeah, I've only ever done it to my CPU, but I also have an i9, so like that thing's already like a fucking nuclear reactor anyway.
Yeah. Also, in fairness, cards on the table, my 1080 that's in this computer that has shit. Years before it shit the bed,
Yep.
I opened it up to put thermal pads on it because EVGA didn't put thermal pads where they were supposed to put thermal pads, and it would have all kinds of heating issues.
Yeah, so they sent you them, right?
So they sent me the thermal pads with like beautiful instructions. So I took it all apart and I put the thermal pads on. And that was worth my time because my card would be at like 90 degrees if I was playing something.
Yeah.
And then it was like down to like, 75 or 80.
Yeah.
So.
No, for sure, yeah. So I redid my CPU cooler a while ago because I hadn't done it in like 3 years. So it's super simple for that, but it's just not.
Yeah, mine's almost 3 years on now, so I might as well. I might do it, but like also, that computer's due for a revamp anyway because of the hard drive situation and I gotta clean it out and things like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, if you do it, just remember the hidden tip. Let it warm up first. Otherwise, you'll fucking rip your CPU out of the socket when you go to take the fan off or the cooler off.
That's interesting.
Yeah. You see it all the time. It's funny. I see it all the time on Reddit of people doing that because the way you're supposed to do it is usually give it like a gentle twist as you pull the fucking CPU. But usually the thermal paste is like glue. So if it's bone cold, dude, it'll rip right out. So what I did with mine is I just literally... It's a fucking i9. Again, it's like a nuclear reactor. I just turned it on and let it sit there for like 5 minutes, and then I just popped it off. And then you fucking clean it, spread that sauce on top.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do barbecue sauce next time.
I don't think that will work. I would not recommend that, but you could do that if you wish. I'll put a bit of thermal grizzly. I'm looking at it right now. There's thermal grizzly right there.
Oh yeah.
Bit of thermal grizzly cryonaut.
Put
that on there.
Yeah.
But
just open up our camera, put it on there.
Put it on there. Open
put it
up
on a mixer.
Open up the laptop, put it on there. Open up the mixer,
the CRT.
Put it on there. Open up the CRT, put it on there. Open up the lights, put it on there. Where on the lights are we gonna put it? I don't know.
Open up the power supplies for the lights.
Yeah.
Don't know where it's pasting to, but we're just gonna paste it.
Where are we transferring heat? I don't know. I'm just putting thermal grizzly on everything.
Thermal grizzly, baby. But
I'm getting grizzly with it,
Yeah, fucking grizzly with it. Hell yeah, brother.
Dramatically shifting topics. Oh, Christ, as I fucking kick our whole setup over. Dramatically shifting topics. You know what annoys me? It really grinds my gears, as Peter Griffin might say.
That's funny because that's what Peter Griffin said one time on Family Guy.
The funny joke here is... So professors... You're not a college person, Jordan, but...
No.
What I found is that professors will often not tell you what they want directly.
Sometimes our boss does that. Or I guess our ex-boss, I should say.
Well, yeah, but also it's not in like a ridiculously annoying fashion.
Oh, no, I'm pissed at him.
I'm going to kill you.
Not going to do that. But no, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, they just give you something, and you're like, so what's the expectation? Like, what are we fucking doing?
Because I'm taking I needed an elective, just a elective. So I'm like, I'm going to take the fucking lowest level class I can take, and I need it to be all online because I'm not going in to take this just piece of shit class. Yeah. So I'm taking an intro to psychology, and what was that?
I was just like, psychology, bro.
Taking an intro to psychology class, and it's all online. This is a class that you can take your first day at this establishment. This is the
beginner bitch. Yeah.
The bottom level class. Okay? And what became like a serious issue for college students in general during the pandemic when their classes went online was discussion posts. Mm-hmm. There's a service called Blackboard that a lot of colleges use they have built-in discussion posts to generate discussion among the class. But this particular professor assigned one this week and just like basically expected a fucking essay.
Oh.
It's like, you need to answer these 7 questions in your post. I said, okay, I can do that, but it sounds like you want an essay. If you wanted an essay, assign me an essay.
Yeah.
I can do an essay if that's what you want. I'm not doing that in a discussion post. I'll answer the 7 questions. I don't give a fuck. But if you want it in that format, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. So it's annoying when professors don't tell you what they want from you, because they obviously at the end of the day have an idea of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And this is a big problem with my big project that I did last semester.
The app.
We kept asking our professor, like the whole class would ask him, hey, what are you expecting us to do for like documentation? What are you expecting us to do for this? What are you expecting us to do for that? What should it look like? No answers. No answers. So it's stupid. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's foolish. It shouldn't be a guessing game.
Yeah. No, it shouldn't be. It should be an assignment. There's a point of you assigning the assignment. Tell me what the fuck you want.
That same professor also, he will fail to put things in an assignment. He will fail to put requirements in an assignment and then mark you down for not following that requirement.
Oh.
If they wanted that to be a requirement, put it in the fucking assignment. Maybe read the assignment you give before you hand it out. Maybe spend more than 5 minutes typing into a Word doc.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take me 10 hours to do this assignment. At least put a little bit of effort into making the assignment, buddy.
Yeah, into doing your part of the fucking equation, asshole.
Like, I don't, I don't know if this is such an unreasonable expectation of me that, that people would, professors whose job it is to assign things would do an assignment properly.
Someone whose job it is to do that job.
Exactly.
And he ain't doing that job. Bro's sitting there like, where's my alphabet soup, SpongeBob? Where's that shit at, bro?
Exactly.
That episode's a banger, by the way.
That is a good episode.
Hands him the soup and he looks at it and it says, get a job. He's like, I don't want this.
I always think about the fucking, the rant we just did, the fucking, if I need a job done, I call someone with a job whose job it is to do that job. And there's a beat and Squidward just goes, what are you saying?
Yeah. And then he goes, ah! And he
watching back that show, though, it is so much more fast-paced than I remember it being when I was a kid.
Yes.
Because they are 11-minute episodes, so there's 2 in the block. But for some reason, I remember them being so much longer in my head.
Yeah, me too.
So the pacing is fucking wild.
It really is. Maybe because like when you're a kid, you don't have a good concept of time per se.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But now, it's just so much happens in that 11 minutes. You're like, oh, I remember, and then this happens, and this happens, and this happens. How the fuck did they do this in fucking 11 minutes?
Yeah.
And then you see how they did it in 11 minutes, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, you know what another banger of episode is? I think we talked about this before, but Atlantis SquarePantis. That was a long-winded episode.
That was a special. I think that was like an hour.
Yeah,
that one was good.
That
one was good.
I like that in the original SpongeBob movie. I haven't seen the 2 new ones, I don't think. Maybe the second newest, but...
I haven't seen the new ones either, but I have seen... I've watched the first SpongeBob movie, the 2004 SpongeBob movie, so many times.
So many times, dude.
So that's
we're off to Shell City.
The fucking now that we're men.
We sung that on the podcast.
We did do that on our Halloween video. That I hope that video, by the way, I hope it shows that we put 99% of the effort into the short film portion and 1% of the effort into the video portion.
Yeah.
That was
yeah. Very one-sided video.
We wanted to make a short film and we wanted to weave it into a video, but we spent all our time on the short film. We were like, holy shit, we have like a week to get this done. And then we had to just do it. Yeah. So we banged the whole thing out in one night.
If I sent you the whole entire unedited video, like just everything,
it's like 5 minutes longer than what we actually have.
The short film one has about 25 takes for like one of the fucking scenes.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the one just making potions, is like us very well being like, hey, remember that story beat we wanted to hit? How should we do that? Oh yeah, let's just do it this way. All right, back into camera. Like,
yeah.
So not well planned on that part, but that's because it's typical Chris and I fashion where we're like, hey, Halloween's coming up. We gotta do something.
I think, Jordan, what we should do next time is
on Synapse Misfire.
If we want to make a short film, we just make a short film.
Yeah.
I think that's Halloween 2023. We're making a short film. I can't hold us to that, but that's what I'm saying now.
Well, we might as well say that we're probably going to do that.
We might do it.
We're probably going to do it. I'll make sure of it.
We are probably going to do it. What
I'm
going to do...
You realize what you just roped us into, right?
In the meantime is I'm going to rob someone to get the money to buy the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K camera. Mm-hmm. It's only, what, like $3,000?
Not bad. That's pocket change for some people.
But also, what I've come to find out is that the camera is fucking peanuts compared to the lenses.
Yeah.
Like, the Pocket Cinema 4K you can get for $1,200, but, like, cheap lenses for it are, like, $400.
Yeah.
There's a lens that we're getting at my school. We're getting it from, like, Canon directly as a loaner, I guess. Like, I don't think we're buying it. I think they're just giving us one, and we're gonna give it back eventually. It's like a $5,000 lens, and my professor referred to it as a entry-level pro lens. It's $5,000.
Jesus Christ, man. This shit has no reason being that expensive.
He showed us ones that are like pro-level pro lenses. He showed us one that was $55,000. They have no business costing that much money.
Because if I fucking drop it, it's gonna break the same as a regular fucking lens. Like,
it's a bunch of glass in a tube. How much does it cost you to manufacture
Chris, I'll just
that
repurpose
thing?
my flashlight. Like,
yeah, I'll just fucking put a bunch
glass.
of lenses in there and call that a day.
Fucking go buy some prescription lenses and just start sticking them in places. That's crazy though. 5,000 and then like 50K. That's really ridiculous.
Yeah, and apparently they can get well into 6 and 7 figures for lenses.
Yeah.
So that's the bitch when it comes to making things look good.
And this is why when people show like short films they made on like an iPhone, that's why it's so impressive when those things are made well on a fucking iPhone.
Well, yeah, because a lot of times when you are making a short film, when you're filming something, the camera is doing a lot of heavy lifting in terms of making sure things look right. And if you don't want your camera to do that, it will give you just a flat image, and then you can do it in software, and that's doing all the heavy lifting. But if you're getting shitty colors that you can't strip from the footage, because that's how raw footage works. It has like metadata of all the stuff the camera is doing, and then the actual video stream, and it's two separate things. Mm-hmm. So that's combined in like a phone. So you can't strip it of any color correction the phone is trying to do. So then you have to also correct it in software.
Yeah.
Which is all the more impressive, because doing that, doing color grading in a manner like that is very difficult.
Yeah.
Because with flat, like, raw footage, you can just put on, like, a standard, like, Rec 709 set of, oh my god, what is it called? I forget what it's called, but you can put on, like, a Rec 709. Oh, it's called a LUT. Put a Rec 709 LUT on it, and it will just make it look normal.
Yeah.
And it looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah. I've been saying for a while, me and Chris were going back and forth a lot with like, oh man, we need like a better camera, and we end up getting these Sony Handycams. I've been saying for a while, like, why don't we just buy like an iPhone 13 used?
Well, that was another option we had with buying, this setup here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Better battery life, like.
I think it might be worth my time to buy just like a camera. Mm-hmm. But it's just the thing is, there's so much money.
You're talking about like a video camera or like a DSLR?
Like,
the problem we had with a DSLR was a lot of the time constraints of 30 minutes. Well,
yeah, but there's also like the Pocket Cinema camera, which is a DSLR, but it is a video camera.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's just so much money.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of the knowledge now to operate it properly, but it's just, man, I would like I would be so weary of taking it places.
Yeah, like you're gonna take this camera by a lake when we're doing like a fucking camping video, you know?
Yeah, like
a little sus, or it starts raining.
Yeah, like if this fucking thing, if we drop it and it breaks,
it's gonna suck, but like
it's gonna suck. Yeah, but it's $200 at the end of the day. We can get a new one, and we also have because we each have one, we can do without one.
Yeah.
You know?
The only concern would be the footage getting damaged, like an SD card or something.
Whereas if I drop and break a camera that cost me over $1,000, I'm going to throw myself off a bridge.
Yeah.
Especially if it was something, if I got the 6K that was like over $2,000, I think it's like, I don't think it's quite $3,000. I think it's like $2,800 or something. Then I would definitely I was like, you know what? It's just, I'm not getting this money back ever. And I just broke the camera. So.
Yeah. That's why I've always said, like, I don't know, like an iPhone might just be the way to go. It's compact, way better battery life, like doesn't overheat. It's fucking waterproof.
That's also true. There has to be like a good budget option that I'm just not considering. Because budget means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Because I've seen budget recommendations that are $800.
Yeah.
I'm talking something like the $400 or $500 range that is like will give you an acceptable picture.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for the fucking Avengers here, but I want something better than this.
Yeah.
Cuz this is like the getting this to look okay is such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason we bought the lights.
It just wasn't doable in this room without it.
And the lights cost as much as the camera did.
Yeah, they did. They were like $170.
Yeah. So and even then it comes out like kind of grainy and shitty.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's you kind of just have to deal with it until you can afford the better stuff, I guess.
Yeah. So
having better stuff would be nice.
It would be. Even like this mixer, like as much as this mixer is good, we've never touched any of those knobs on there except for one time we fucked with the FETs before a show. That was it. Yeah,
well, and it is a nice thing, but nice things also break. So.
Yeah. They also begin to break, and also it's nice until you don't know how to use it, and that's kind of where we're at.
And it's nice until we realized we bought the wrong piece of equipment. There is an entirely different piece of equipment we should have bought and didn't.
Talking about the podcast deck?
Yeah, like it's I forget what it's actually called, but the one we were looking at was the Rodecaster Pro.
That's what it was.
And it's meant to take multiple audio streams, and separate them into multiple different tracks, and this does not do that.
Which we initially thought it did.
Which we thought it did, because it's not the right piece of equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe us, buying something called a mixer wasn't smart.
Listen, it's...
We're kind of dumb 131 weeks ago.
We're kind of fucking stupid, I don't know. Like, you just know, you don't know things.
Yeah.
Rodecaster Pro might be the move, but also might not be.
Yeah, I mean, if this breaks, that's probably where we're gonna be.
I have another idea we'll discuss later, but
yeah,
it sucks that all our things are breaking.
Yeah.
Has anything broken for you, really quick, before we close out?
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
I decided the other day, I was like, I haven't driven the Cobalt in a while. Let me take it for a spin. The Cobalt's fine.
Oh, that's good.
My radio, it has Android Auto, and I used to use a cable, but for Christmas I got a Motorola M1A adapter, which is a wireless Android Auto one. It just doesn't work anymore. It's not working. It's like fucking a month old. Actually, it's exactly a month old, pretty much.
You got it on Christmas and it's already broken?
Yeah, it's just not working.
Jesus.
It wouldn't pair. I hard reset it. It paired once. I got out of the car, went back in, won't pair.
Nice.
I don't fucking know. So it's being a bit of a bitch, but yeah, that's about it for me. I've had some decent luck.
That's good. I just hope when I have the money to buy a nicer camera, it's not the same situation where I have it for a year and then it fucking detonates itself.
Yeah, I hope not.
Because that sucks.
Yeah, that's all I got. You got anything else?
No, I think that's it. This is all over the place kind of episode.
It has been. We went in a little empty on this one, and we did a lot better than we would have done a year ago, trying to keep it on track.
Yeah. So. We waver, but we're constantly improving. We're kind of podcasters now,
We have some experience under our belt.
We're a little experienced, I got a resume on this now. I would not put this on my resume ever.
If we went to a job and presented a portfolio of greatest hits of this podcast, I think we would be sent to the gulag.
We would be fucking put into the shadow realm.
Oh, that was... Oh, hang on. We're not ending. We are not ending. I might even cut something to put this in instead. So if you just got a harsh cut, this is why. I told myself I would ask Chris this because it's something I asked Alex at work and Chris wasn't there.
Okay.
Chris.
Yes.
Me and my coworker, the young coworker,
right,
we're hanging out, and I asked him something. I said, "Bro, if you got sent to the gulag, you're familiar with Modern Warfare and how that works, right?
Like the Warzone gulag.
Yeah, the Warzone. If you got sent to the gulag, would you throw?
Depends who I'm with.
If you're just by yourself, you're just there, you're fighting some other guy.
It depends who I'm fighting.
Well, my point being, would you want that second try?
Oh, would I want the second try?
Or would you just throw the match?
Oh, I would absolutely want the second try.
Yeah.
I want another go round.
My coworker, he was like, honestly, bro, if I got sent to the gulag, I'd be like, well, I had a good run.
I would understand that, like, this might not be 100%, but like I'm gonna try.
Yeah, I'll still try too. I'm 50-50. I think I'd try. If Oster's still around, I'll try.
It depends. If I'm like, old and grizzled, then nah.
Yeah.
But if I'm like...
But if it was like now.
If it's like now, yeah, I'm gonna at least try.
Yeah.
Foolish answer.
Foolish answer, yeah.
I'll take. You're a loser.
You're a loser,
Cut in the
bro.
fucking emote Jordan did in the Christmas video. Loser.
I hope I remember to cut that in. Oh, man. But anyway, that's it. You can find us Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Podcast, and the RSS feed, all linked below. There's also the email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. There's also YouTube for a video platform, as well as Spotify and Instagram and TikTok. Check it out there. It's all linked below. I shouldn't have to say it anymore. You should just know.
I feel like if Jordan ever forgets that string of words, his mind will be completely wiped.
It's like Men in Black.
Yeah.
I feel like eventually I'm going to get so good at that specific phrase that I'm going to be competing against Eminem for Rap God.
Honestly, I think so.
Anyway, that's all she wrote. Again, don't know who it is, why she wrote it.
Our scriptwriter, we talked about this.
What's her name?
We can't say. It's a shadow organization that writes all the scripts for us for unknown purposes.
Yep. We don't know what the end goal is. We're just here.
Yeah, we're just here for it.
Yeah, there's actually, behind this curtain, there's a guy with an infrared scope, and he's looking at us with a sniper rifle.
And because we're talking about this, we're going to die right now.